Viktor Gyokeres is officially an Arsenal player. Go and check the announcements. They've done that player trailer type of thing that they reveal, and they do a pretty good job at it. But I like to wait for the player interviews. You know, when the interviewer is asking them the certain questions and why did you join and so on and so forth. Everybody knows it's been a very, very long transfer saga, and I really, really hope the interviewer who's asking Gyökeres these questions is asking some good questions. Today we are going to react. We're going to listen to one of Gyökeres's old coaches at a youth club, under 19s, under 21s, and we're actually able to see and hear from someone that knows him very well how he was, what he's like, strength, weaknesses. Hopefully, we can get a bit more information in the player that we've signed. But before we continue, because it's Gyökeres Day, like, share, subscribe, help brother out. It's a new channel. But let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into this.
My name is Dalibor Savic, and I'm an UEFA Pro licensed coach. I worked in Sweden for many, many years, and I have the opportunity to work in Brommapojkarna. That is the biggest academy and the best academy in Sweden and also in the Scandinavia. And I had a lot of good players there. Actually, I was the head coach for the under 19 and under 21 for a 4 years of period. And one of the players I had was Viktor Gyokeres. And we had another player that we sold to Chelsea. His name was Joseph Colley. And now you have like Lucas Bergvall and Dejan Kulusevski that are playing in Tottenham. All of those players were at the same time in Brommapojkarna during this period. So
That's great to hear already. The fact that he came through Sweden's best academy or best youth system speaks a lot as well. You know, you just heard the likes of Kulusevski, which is a baller, Bergvall, who is a baller as well. It's good to see that he was already being admired by the best or one of the best Scandinavian, if not Swedish, youth setups. Really good.
it's a good club to be in if you want to work with good players. Everybody who grow up in Sweden and Scandinavia, you have a big love for Premier League football because it's since you're a small guy or girl, they're how do you say, they're broadcasting the games every week, and everybody, Premier League is, as you know, probably the best league in the world. So of course it's a dream for every coach or every player to go to a big club, and if you can go to one of the top clubs in England, you should take that a chance and opportunity. But it has been a long journey for Victor to reach this level, and of course he deserves it after 2 or 3 years in Portugal where he really smashed it with Sporting Lisbon. But his biggest, how do you say, his biggest talent is that he's so determined and focused and stubborn. Like, he wants to achieve it, and he doesn't give up, because many players maybe stop dreaming about Premier League when you reach the age of 27, but he's keep working for it and try to be a better player every week and every day, and finally his dream will probably come true to play for Arsenal in the.
And this is what I'm talking about. Obviously, I've never spoken to the guy personally, but whenever you hear from ex-colleagues, ex-teammates, you're always hearing about his mentality. This is a guy that deems himself to be one of the best strikers in the world. He's come in, he's taken that number 14, because the 14 at Arsenal Football Club is an iconic number used by the legendary Thierry Henry. So he's come in, taken that number, explained to the world that he believes to be one of the best strikers in the world. And we're just hearing it from someone that knows him very, very well, that he is charismatic, he's determined, ambitious, he's stubborn. This is what you want, especially at a club like Arsenal where we haven't got over the line. We get so close, but we haven't got over the line. You need someone with this ambition, this charisma to come in and be like, yes, we can win. I can take this team forward. And hopefully that charisma, that personality rubs off on the other players in the squad.
Premier League. So everybody, I think, is happy for him.
And obviously Arsenal hope he'll bring goals, but what, from your time working with him, what else do you think he will bring to Arsenal?
Yeah, first of all, he's a really professional guy, so he will always do his best. Not only if he's playing or not playing, he will always do his best in the sessions, in the training sessions, in the locker room. He will always work extra. He will always try to be prepared when he get the chance to play. Of course, everybody knows that Viktor Gyokeres is a top level player, top striker in Europe right now. But the question is he a world-class player?
And that's the question that's on everybody's lips. He just said he trains hard, he works hard. Arteta's gonna love that. Coaches, any type of coach, you're going to love someone that trains hard, works hard, ambitious, charisma. Those things alone. Yes, you're going to have our reserves, or you're going to have your disagreements in terms of whether he is going to be able to score the goals in Premier League, a much, much, much harder league. But the fact that he's got those elements, that mindset already, he's going to do very, very well. I truly believe that.
And I think this is what he needs to prove by coming to Arsenal. That is one of the biggest clubs in the world. If you're not a world-class player and if you're not performing, you will probably not play so much.
Exactly.
So I think he's going to come very prepared. He's going to work really hard. He's going to not only play offensively and try to score, but he's going to play hard defensively, like pressing and tackling and winning the balls. So I think if he just get the early goals on in the season, he will probably reach a world-class player. But it's let's see. Fingers crossed.
Is that music to your ears, Arsenal people? Arsenal fans, is that not music to your ears? Someone that is going to press, someone that's not only going to work hard offensively and attacking and getting those goals, but someone that is also going to work hard in the press defensively. Someone that's going to put the team above it. Would we have got that with another striker? Would we have got that potentially with a Sesko? Maybe not. Maybe we would have got to a certain extent, him having a certain skill set, but his old coach saying that so confidently as well. You can look at his face and he's telling you that this is what you're going to get from the player. This is what you're going to get from Viktor Gyokeres.
I mean, could you kind of see that potential there when you were coaching him when he was younger, that he had the ability to go to the very top?
I mean, everybody knew that Viktor is going to be a top player, but reaching these clubs that we're talking about, the Premier League or Serie A or La Liga or the League One.
See how you didn't mention the Portuguese league?
The top clubs, you can never predict that. I think that all of us coaches, we're just a small part of his football journey. We're just a small part of it, putting him in the right position to work with his strengths, trying to give him advices. But all the hard work comes from Viktor, with the extra training, with the extra determination, extra focus. And I think you need to have a bit luck of choosing clubs when you're playing football. To come to a club like where a coach wants to have you, you can play on your strengths, because to be honest, Viktor is not the most technical players.
I'm so glad you said that. At least it's not just completely just bum licking him and just be like, yeah, Viktor's amazing and Viktor's this. Everyone and then could see that Viktor Gyokeres is not the most technical player, but it's Haaland. Is Haaland technical? No. But in that box, when Erling Haaland is in that box, you're scared. Not only fans, more importantly, the defenders are panic-stricken. They're like, oh, damn, this guy's got the ball. We need to lock him down. We need to get 2-3 players on him. We need to make sure where he is. And this is what we want. This is what any team wants, to strike fear in the hearts of defenders. And Gyokeres does that, despite not being one of the most technical of players.
Not the most skillful players. And he was not the most technical players in Brommapojkarna under 19 and under 21. But he was a power striker. He was running deep. He was running fast. He was running strong. And you can see that's his style of playing right now also. He's very physical and a very deep going striker, you know, behind the lines. So playing in Coventry, they probably played a lot of transitions, like staying low and fast transitions. So now playing in Arsenal, it's maybe a different style of football where they have a lot of the ball, where they have controlled possession.
That's another thing as well, is that he needs to really work on his link-up play. I saw it a couple of times where he looks good, but I saw a couple of other times where he didn't look really good as well. He needs to really improve that. That's the only thing I could really see, or all I could really want him to improve, is that link-up play, that first touch, bringing other people in. But in terms of him playing people in and then spinning off, he's great at it. I just want him to be a bit more, just work on his technicality. Just a little bit more technicality. You don't need to be super technical. But again, because we have a bit of the ball, I just want him to just be a bit more sure of himself when it comes to that link-up play.
Controlled, established attack. Can he fit in that system? And that's the last thing he needs to reach if he wants to be a world-class player. But getting the chance to score in Arsenal, he will probably get more chances in scoring with playing with Arsenal than playing with Coventry.
I said this. If Marino can score 9 goals, if Havertz before he got injured can score 9 goals, come on. Let's be real here. Like, I'll be very, very, very surprised. Actually, I'll be downright shocked if Viktor Gyokeres does not get close to 20 goals. I'll be shocked. That's all I'm saying. I'll be very shocked if Viktor Gyokeres does not get 20 goals. I'll be very shocked.
So can he just adapt in the possession-based football instead of the transition-based football that he played before? So this is going to be quite interesting to follow during the season. He was always well prepared for the training sessions. He always did the pre-activation. He was always first guy on the pitch. He was almost the last one off the pitch. He always had the ball staying like 10, 15, 20.
Oh, this is music to my ears. This is music to my ears. When you hear of the best footballers, for example, you look at the likes of Ronaldo. When he came at Man United, nobody, and I mean nobody, ever thought that the Ronaldo that we saw at Man United was going to turn into the Ronaldo that we have seen for the last 10 years. Nobody predicted that. But I think there's an interview with Rio Ferdinand, and he said the same thing, that Ronaldo will stay after the games or after training, take a bunch of balls with him, go to the next side and start practicing his free kicks, start practicing his shooting. He's taking on his one-on-ones. And I'm not trying to say, obviously, Gyokeres is ever going to reach the Ronaldo's level. But this is what you want to hear, someone that's actually training after training to get better.
20 minutes after the session, trying to do some more shootings, trying to do some more headers. But, you know, for me, when you work with talent development, or if you work with the first team football, the responsibility of the coach is to put the players in a role and in a system where they can work with the strengths. So me and my staff were thinking about how can we use Viktor to reach his top level in our system, and how can he work with his strengths? Because when a player works with his strengths, he gets the confidence and he enjoys the football, and that's how we develop his love for football and skills for football.
That's the thing as well, is that I know I said earlier that I want him to improve his link-up play and stuff as well, but I also want Arteta to use the strengths of Viktor Gyokeres to tweak the formation a little bit. It doesn't need to be completely overhauled and overchanged. But for Arteta, who I believe he will, say what you want to say about Arteta, but he has been semi-adaptable to a certain extent. And it would be great if he can tweak it a little bit. And that would be getting from defence to attack really, really quick. And the fact that we've brought in Zubimendi, he is the guy that is going to change Arsenal. I know Viktor Gyokeres has come in and he's been the striker that we've wanted for so long, but we have actually wanted the ball to go forward, to go a bit more direct, a lot sooner, a lot quicker, especially when we're coming up against teams with that low block.
So for us, was it to put Viktor sometimes as a number 9, if we wanted to play transition football, to run behind the lines, but also to play him in a wing, in a 4-3-3 system, so he can cut inside and shoot, because he had a very strong shot at a young age. And you can still see it now, that he's shooting really, really hard when he gets the chance to shoot.
I know that he transitions from striker to left wing. Sometimes he picks up the ball on the left wing as well. But the fact that he used to actually play there, depending on the team that they were facing, this is great. This is great, because this allows someone like Martinelli, for example, who has not had the best of seasons for the last couple of seasons. I personally think Martinelli is more of a centre forward. He runs very straight. When it comes to changing angles and changing direction, he's not the best. But if Gyokeres can kind of drift different to that left, and then Martinelli transition into that centre, it's going to give us so much more variety. This is what I love hearing. It's music to my ears.
So this was the things we were trying to put them in the system. This was the things we tried to train a lot, like the first touch, and the time between the first and second touch has to be slow.
I love it. I love this. I love it.
Because we cannot teach him like dribbling or controlling the ball. So we were working with these strengths that he had, and also playing in Brommapojkarna, who is a club that are promoting young players. He got the opportunity to play for the first team when he was at a young age. And from that, I think he grew quite fast from a teenager to into men's football in an early age. So he got very physically early, and that was his advantage. The first year I had him, he didn't have the muscles, but you can see that the body shape was, this guy is going to be big, because he was taller than the other guys, and his physicality, running into duels or tackling, or he was stronger than the opponents in the early years. You can see that.
And this is what we want. We're coming to the Premier League, and people always refer to the Premier League being high tempo. You have to be strong, you have to be fast, you have to be quick, but you have to be able to ride tackles, and there's big centre backs, big midfielders in the Premier League. And the fact that this coach has said that about Gyokeres, the fact that we've seen it so many times, that he's almost like a steam train. He does not stop. And this is perfect for the Premier League. This is going to give defenders that panic-stricken feeling. This is what Haaland does. Although he's not technical, he's fast, he's strong, and he's clinical. Those 3 things alone. You don't need technicality for a striker in order for you to be a successful striker, and Haaland has proven it.
But going to the first team, when he started to get nutrition right, when he got it to get the strength training right, and he had a good support from his family, who was, giving him good advices.
Big up his family, because his family actually cried. I think it was his dad or his mum actually cried when they finalized the deal. Big up his family, man.
Regarding the food and the vitamins and the minerals and all that, and he grew quite fast the last year and a half when he played with the first team in Brommapojkarna, and from there was no stop, because from Brommapojkarna first team he went to Brighton. So they probably saw everything that I'm talking about right now.
But
he made the right choice going to Portugal and going to one of the better clubs there, maybe the best club. I mean, if you score like 44 goals a season or whatever he did in one season, you're dominating the game. And with his physicality and always being in the box, finishing with the left foot, with the right foot. And of course, Sporting Lisbon is creating, 15, 20 chances per game. He's probably going to score 1 or 2 per game. So I think it was wise for him to go to a minor league, but to a top club. If you remember Henrik Larsson, he went from Feyenoord to Celtic, and playing in the biggest and the best club in Scotland, and grow as a player and to be an important player and an important goal scorer. But you don't know if it's a world-class player because you're not playing in the top league yet. But Henrik Larsson then went to the Manchester United and Barcelona, and he proved himself to be a world-class player. Now Viktor has to do the same thing, coming from a minor league in a top club to a bigger league, and see if he can do the same journey as Henrik Larsson and all the other.
That's a great example, because obviously Henrik Larsson was absolutely great. I remember people were saying, oh, but he plays at Celtic, he plays in Scotland. But then when he went to Barcelona, when he went to Man United, he showed that I'm about that life. And again, another Swedish player. This is great to see, and the reason why I loved watching this video, watching his coach talk about Gyokeres, is because we get to see a bit more of an insight, a bit more of his past. How is he? What is he like? And it's music to my ears in terms of what I'm hearing, because these are the stuff that I was kind of thinking already. But for someone that actually knows him to basically say, yeah, like what you're thinking is kind of right, it's great. It's great.
Swedish players.
And you mentioned the sort of mentality and the competitiveness he had when he was younger. Was that something you ever had to kind of rein in a bit and sort of calm him down sometimes? Was it, is it hard to stop him?
No, of course, when you have that mentality as Viktor had, and if we had like a game and we lost it, he was mad, he was upset, he didn't like it, and he always wanted to win the next game.
This is what you want. This is what you want. You want someone to be angry. You want someone to win the next game. You want someone to be like, nah, I didn't score, or we lost that match. Next match, it's going to be on point. Next match, they're finished. That is what you call hunger. That is what you call winner's mentality. And I'm sure that the best players in the world, not just now, currently, the past, even in the future, the best players have that same mentality where they're pissed off for not scoring. They're pissed off for losing because they want to win. They're not just playing football as a sport, as a hobby. They want to win.
Or in the training session, if we're playing like 5 against 5 or 9 against 9 or 11 against 11 and he loses, I don't want to say he's not fun to be around. He's always fun to be around because he's a good teammate. I think he's humble. I think coaches like him. I think the other players are like him, but he wants to win. If there's a shooting drill, he wants to win it. If it's a running drill, he wants to win it. So
this is great, guys. This is great. This fills me with so much more hope, because there was a couple of question marks, and you're probably watching this, you're probably still going to have your question marks, but this has filled me with so much hope that this guy is going to come in and do his absolute best to make this transfer a successful one. It was great to have an insight from the old coach. It was great to see someone talk about him and give us a bit more of a rundown in terms of how he is, how is Gyokeres, what does Gyokeres do. And I'm so glad, I'm so glad that we went to buy someone, not only a striker that can score, but a striker that is charismatic, a striker that has that winner's mentality, because hopefully that mentality, that ambition will rub off on so many players in that dressing room, in training, just before a match, and you're seeing, you can see it in his eyes that he wants to score. You can see it on the field that when he scores, he's celebrating like a madman, like a machine. This is great. This is great. Arsenal fans, football fans in general, what do you guys think? What do you think of this interview? What do you think of the signing of Viktor Gyokeres? And I guess I'm happy. But again, please, it's a new channel. Please support me. Like, share, subscribe. Viktor Gyokeres, welcome to the Arsenal Football Club. And I hope you have one of the best seasons that we have seen at the Emirates. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.